We are back. Proficiency exam 100%. We should get 100% of every question on the proficiency exam because we're good, right? Problem number 13. It is 2013, so problem number 13 should be an easy one. Absolute value inequality. Okay? Absolute value of x is less than or equal to 5. Do you guys remember the absolute value, what it stands for? If this is my number line with negative infinity and positive infinity, and here's my 0, if I have any number, let's say x, the absolute value, hold on, the absolute value of x will be nothing else but this distance right here, right? From my x to 0, that's the absolute value. So what is this problem here saying? I'm looking for a number x, or all the numbers x, that have this property, that their absolute value is less than or equal to 5. What is the absolute value? Distance to 0. Which means if I will have my 0 here, and I will have my 5 here, and supposedly my x will be right there, that x being placed over there is fine because the distance from my x to 0, right, which is the absolute value of x, is less than 5. And I can choose my x here and here, and it has to be less than or equal. It can't be even 5, right? Well, that's one way. How about negative 5? How about if my x will be here? Is that absolute value, let's say x prime, is the absolute value of my x prime here less than or equal to 5? Well, absolutely, because that's the distance to 0, and forgetting about the sign, I don't need the sign. The distance to 0 for any number that will be greater than negative 5 here, right, will still satisfy this requirement, that is less than or equal to 5. Or, remember we solved the previous problem where I said if I have this inequality, and in this case you have what? Absolute value of x less than or equal to 5. What I said is less than, and I said, how about spelling it this way? Then. Less than will give you the connection between the two inequalities that you're going to write out of this one. And these two inequalities are x, so you just remove these two brackets, right? They should go away. We don't need them anymore. And you have the first inequality, x, and you write everything the same way it is, less than or equal to 5. That's your first inequality. The second one, you also remove the brackets, right? And you write x, but now here you're gonna switch the signs on both. On the inequality sign, you're gonna flip the inequality sign, which becomes greater than or equal, and you will switch the sign of 5, which is greater than negative 5. Do you remember? We're right here. We have all the numbers that will be between negative 5 and 5. When I'm putting that, the two requirements here, x should be less than or equal to 5. Well, let's write there where 5 is. And as x greater than or equal to 5, I'm actually looking to this segment right there. And I can either use, full dot or full circle, right? And everything that's between them. And that should be the answer to my inequality. And let's look now which one satisfies that. A. What you notice here, I have all the values that are less than or equal to 5. Well, this is not good. B, I have all the values that are less than or equal to -5 and greater than or equal to 5. Not good, right? And by the way, here we says should be less than, and remember I said this is the connection between your inequalities. X less than or equal to 5 and x is greater than or equal to -5. So basically we need the intersection of these two intervals, x less than -5, x greater than or equal to -5. And we'll get back to this one. Let's see C. On C, I have all the x's that are greater than -5, right? But it's not good because I need, x less than 5, less than or equal to 5, and x greater than or equal to -5. And if you have to represent this thing on a number line, right? This is my negative infinity, that's my positive infinity. I have my -5 and I have my +5. If I'm going with this one, with the first one, what it says, x less than or equal to 5, I'm going to 5, I need a full dot, and I need all the numbers to the left, to the negative infinity, that will be less than 5, right? If I'm going with the other one, the other inequality, x greater than or equal to -5, I'm going to -5, which -5 will be included, and I need all the numbers to the positive infinity that will satisfy the requirement, the condition of being greater than or equal to 5. However, the problem says your solution set should satisfy both conditions, right? Less than or equal to 5, greater than or equal to -5. And that interval is right here, between 5 and -5. Looks like a barbell, right? Oops. So this is it. And there are many other ways in which you can see this answer written. One of the possibility will be this one. X is an element of all the numbers from -5, all the numbers in this interval, -5 to 5, right? And also you can see it written as as an intersection of two sets. But for the purpose of this problem, this is it. So remember, there are many ways in which you can solve it. Be careful, pay attention. If you have less than, right? Less than. That's a good hint for you to keep in mind. Well, this is it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Proficiency exam is getting weaker.